YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Hell has officially frozen over. My YouTube channel has been reinstated. Now, I know some of you will celebrate and be thrilled with this news. Me, personally, I'm very suspicious about it. I am very not the type of person to be optimistic, even when good things happen. I'm always expecting something else or thinking, what's the catch? Because there's got to be a catch with how they have censored and removed so many channels, and now they're bringing them back. And of course, I believe that this will somehow tie into a digital ID. And of course, I also believe that being anonymous online, like I am, is something that they are going to try and end. So what they're doing here makes little to no sense. And I will show you just how little sense this makes based on the appeal process, based on screen grabs that I've had for the last couple of days, which will show you that it doesn't make any sense that my channel is suddenly back on YouTube. But some of you might know I've never left. I've never actually been gone. I've gone through over 80 or 88, I believe is the number, channels since I've been on the platform. I'm still here. I have a channel called Hive Mind Nation where I've broken down the Charlie Kirk psyop, and yes, psyop, not in regards to an assassination, in regards to a fake assassination. Obviously, along the lines of Donald Trump's fake assassination, Charlie Kirk's is just a disappearing act. Remember, the news is a production. It is a simulation. It is a show. These are characters. These are operatives of the government who pretend to be truthers, who jump in and jump out of the limelight, of course, with a bigger agenda in mind. We're going to see things that start coming to fruition with the Noahide laws and a lot of the stuff that Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are trying to do, where they're trying to make you think they're giving you truth by exposing Israel. But in fact, we all know they're operatives of Israel. But I won't go down that road right now because I've uploaded over on my other channel. You can go check those videos out over there on Hive Mind Nation. I want to talk about what's going on here for anybody out there, because of course, I would expect you to be suspicious that my channel's back. We're talking 550. I don't even know what the number is of subscribers I have on here, but it's a lot. And it's been gone for a long time. And a lot of big channels have been gone, and a lot of big channels have come back. Now, I received an email that said, we're pleased to let you know that we've recently reviewed your YouTube account, and after taking another look, we confirm that it is not in violation of our terms of service, which is interesting because the last time I appealed was a week or two ago, and I got an email that said, we received an appeal from your channel. Looks like your previous appeal has been denied. And you could see these constant emails that I get from them. We've reviewed your appeal, your channel, and we confirm that it violates our community guidelines. So then when you go and log in, this is what you see. So this is what I've seen for 2 years. Your channel won't be put back at YouTube, on YouTube at this time, okay? Now, this was what I saw yesterday because people were beginning to talk about this sham that they put on in Congress. Because again, this is all a show in politics. These performances that your senators put on in Congress, yelling about genders and yelling at big tech as if they're not in bed with big tech, because we know that all big tech is really just a tentacle of DARPA. These are actors and characters who are given these positions of prominence, who are really DARPA, consultants or executives at DARPA from Zuckerberg on, with LifeLog. These are all productions of the government. So anyway, they had the whole production they put on with Google executive and talking about, well, we've removed all these channels because of COVID. Maybe we'll reinstate these channels. Well, this as of yesterday, I took this screenshot. I'm glad I did. This was what it showed me. Rejoining the YouTube community. To keep our community safe, a call for an uprising was removed because it didn't follow the community guidelines policy. While that channel won't be put back on YouTube, you may be eligible to create a new one. So they were pretty much saying, hey, we're not going to bring back your channel at 500 plus thousand subscribers, but if you want to come back to the platform, you could submit here and we'll take a look. I didn't even submit because I said, what's the point of that? What's the point? I could just make new YouTube channels. I don't need your permission. Because that's what I've been doing. I've been making new emails. I've been getting burner phones because you have to attach a phone number to every channel. And unfortunately for anybody out there, I don't know if any of these other channels of mine are going to come back, like Nations Conspire, A Call for Vengeance, A Time for Judgment, Hurting Humanity, Ones That Can See. I mean, I've had so many I can't remember the names because all of them are attached to a burner phone. So when those channels get terminated, I just toss the phone because they make you get a phone with a phone number, because that was their way of saying, we're going to make sure people aren't, evading the bans that we give them. Like, oh, okay. How are you going to do that? Well, we're going to make you take a picture of yourself and we're going to make you put in a phone number. Oh, okay. So I can't go get a burner phone. Here's your burner phone. Here's a different number, you idiots. And then, oh, well, you're going to have to take a screenshot of yourself. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't give somebody $5 outside of Walmart to take a selfie of themselves for me, right? Give me a break. So that's how I've been doing it and creating these channels, but eventually they do get caught, and that's because they've been using browser fingerprinting on me, which is a way that they can detect the devices that I'm using and then just terminate the channels based on that every time they do just a random, whatever runs that they do once a month with their AI and determine, oh, it's the same guy, it's the same guy, it's the same guy. Because people have been wondering, they're like, well, how are there other channels that have your old content on there and yours keep getting taken down if they're using voice recognition? Well, I think they were using internet browser fingerprinting, and I've gotten a new computer just to avoid that, and it's been going okay, but I've gotten strikes in the last couple of weeks with the Charlie Kirk content that I put up, and I expect more in the future. So when I look through my old videos here, I mean, there's so many that are removed for terms of what does it say? Terms and policy violations. Look, I mean, there's tons of them that are gone. This is all inside of the channel. So I'm probably just going to delete a lot of the old content anyway. It's all available on the website. It always has been, which is callforunuprising.com. I've never gone anywhere, despite people celebrating me. Oh, he's gone and this and that. All I've ever done is try to get people out of the left-right paradigm. It's pull people out of this, divide and conquer agenda that we're seeing going on. But people still lump me into MAGA or lump me into being a conservative when I'm not. Your vote doesn't count. I think MAGA is embarrassing. I think the Democrat Party is embarrassing. I think anybody who's involved in politics it's embarrassing that they debate this stuff. They don't realize they're getting fed stories from the CIA. The news is just, they talk about Mockingbird media, all these guys like Dice and everything. Mockingbird, yeah, we're all aware of it. Do you know that all news stories are simulations? All these mainstream stories that they feed you are government psyops. They're rabbit holes for you to go down. They're endless rabbit holes that they want to bring you down to take up your time, to keep you in an endless loop. And then you beg the government for Epstein files. Was Epstein involved in all that stuff? Of course he was. He was involved in eugenics, along with everybody in big tech and Donald Trump and every politician. All the stuff they're doing at Zorro Ranch. But you don't think they're feeding you this stuff by giving you flight logs? They could have whacked him in the night. There didn't even need to be a trial. You wouldn't even have known who he was unless they wanted you to know who he was. Right? Now we have the Charlie Kirk psyop. Oh, there was a second shooter. Oh, it's Israel. Well, of course, everything goes through Israel. We all know that. But what people don't pay attention to is the fact that these are characters that come and go and get put in place and removed. All the alt-right media is talking about is who really killed Charlie Kirk, right? Well, that's the government wants. They know you weren't going to buy the Tyler Robinson narrative that this kid did the shot from 200 feet away or yards away, assembled and disassembled the rifle, and then was gone for 33 hours with your Mason code. They knew you weren't going to buy it. They want you to fall for the second shooter narrative. How come nobody out there is talking about the narrative that he's actually alive? That's how the Mossad works. They take these people and they put them in different positions. What do you think, Charlie Kirk was going to go into his 40s, going to college campuses, debating 18-year-old kids and making them look like fools? His character ran its course. It served its purpose, and now it's going to serve an even bigger purpose. Because what you're seeing is the alt-right trying to bring Israel into it. Of course, Israel's behind it. Charlie Kirk was the biggest shill for Israel on earth. And now they're like, well, he was turning on them, so they had to kill him. Oh, right. Well, where does this all lead to? Well, it leads to more censorship, because it's going to lead to more anti-Semitism bills and laws, because people like Candace Owens are going to come out and say things that are anti-Semitic, and it'll protect them even more. And then, of course, we'll have the Noahide laws brought in. I'm rambling. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you're back here and you think I've been gone and you think that I haven't been doing this, I've been doing this. Don't you forget that the news is a simulation. They manufacture the news. How else do you think they're going to get you on board with their agendas? They get you all riled up thinking that this event occurred, thinking that event occurred. They bring you into a team left and team right. And you follow the orders, you follow what you're told to do because of the stories that are out there. Oh, we need red flag laws because the transgenders are getting out of control. The Democrats are killing everybody. And then, of course, they reverse the red flag laws. And they're all really for people like me and you, conspiracy theorists, who they don't want to own weapons. They don't want to be able to protect themselves because they look at us as the enemy of the state. Now, why are they bringing people like me back to YouTube? Well, we'll see how long this actually lasts, but maybe they're just saying to themselves, hey, the channel's been dead over here for 2 to 3 years, right? So all the people who used to watch every day are out of the routine of watching me and probably watch and got sucked into mini conspiracy channels like Tim Pool or these other guys who keep you in the left-right paradigm. Maybe they forgot that I'm not a part of the left-right paradigm. So maybe once they see that we're calling all these stories fake, that they'll say we're going to get rid of these channels again. Or they could be using what the whole purpose of the Alex Jones Sandy Hook charade was, which is to say, oh, this guy's back. Oh, this guy's now on YouTube, and he's saying that the shooting at this school was fake and the shooting there is fake, so that they could try to sue me and try to remove me again, but put me in jail eventually with the way the laws are going to be. Because remember, these laws are going to be in place so that you can't question the news. You can't question the government. That's what's insane about all these psyops, including the Alex Jones charade of now Alex Jones isn't allowed on YouTube, but I'm back on, right? But Jones went to court for Sandy Hook and didn't bring up one piece of evidence and say, hey, look, all I did was question the news. Why is everybody getting down my throat? All you did was show us some people on television, tell us this event occurred. Didn't show us any bodies. If it was a crime show, we would need to see all the evidence. Everybody, when they watch true crime, wants to see the evidence. When they watch court TV, they want to see the evidence. Even when somebody's 100% guilty, they still say, hey, but there's not enough evidence to prove that he did it. And you go, well, it's already obvious he did it. And they go, yeah, but we're missing the gun. We're missing the weapon, right? All that kind of stuff. But when it came to Sandy Hook or any of these other events, they just tell us in the news that it happens. And then we're supposed to believe it. That's what they don't want you to do, is to start thinking, wait a minute, could they just be making these stories up so that they can push their agendas? Well, of course, that's exactly what they do. And the whole point of the Alex Jones charade trial was that Jones went to court and Jones didn't fight it and Jones didn't ask actual questions and make points where people would say, hey, he makes a point. Why can't he question the news? He just turned on a box, and then you tell us that this happened, right? I mean, let's see it. Let's see a trial. All these shooters never live to tell a lie, right? They never live to tell their tale. They're always dead. Once in a while, they'll let them live. Right? So the whole purpose of the Alex Jones trial, it served a huge purpose. The purpose was to say, look, if you question the news, you could lose everything. Even though Jones isn't going to lose everything, he's COINTELPRO. But the trial was to set a precedent that in the future, people on YouTube, people on Rumble, you will not be able to question the news and say that this is fake, that nobody died here, that the government's behind that that'll be illegal. And that'll get you not only in a civil court, eventually in a federal court, where you'll be thrown and prosecuted, put in prison. And even if you ask questions that make perfect sense, they won't allow you to do it. So maybe that's where we're headed with the reinstatement of this channel. Now, I don't know what the future holds in regards to me making content. I was actually starting to finally slow down with the amount of content that I've been making over the last decade. I'm coming up on 10 years of doing this, even though it's been so many different channels. I've kind of gotten to a point where I was saying, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I've obviously, to make income, I have other things that I have to do to make income in order to survive and live and buy food and do all that kind of stuff. So I've had less and less time to do this. This channel is not monetized. I don't expect it ever to be. But I was actually at a point where I was debating whether or not I was going to wrap this whole thing up, and now the channel's back. So some of you might look at it and say, hey, God's bringing your channel back. You want you to keep in this fight. Obviously, I look at it that way, but I also look at it from the other perspective. I don't trust these people as far as I can spit. I don't have any expectations that this is legit. In fact, I believe it's more of a setup than anything else. So I have to watch how I tread here. But I'm just as baffled as anybody else I really am, because people were asking me how these other channels came back, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say, oh, there must be shills. They got their channels back. I just was like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how or why, but I was like, that's not going to happen to me because I've lost the appeal process so many times, and I didn't even appeal. And they finally just gave the channel back. So most of you are seeing this. Most of you are like, what? Huh? You're not alone. But I look at it from the perspective of, what is this for? What is the purpose of this? What is the setup here? Because they didn't go through all this stuff with censorship just to give everybody their channels back. Now, maybe they're going to use this as a form of trying to get me back on here, all these other guys back on here, start making content again, and then boom, here comes the digital ID. Well, in order to make your content, you're going to have a digital ID, and your audience is going to have a digital ID and able to go online and listen to it. So maybe that's part of what they're thinking. Where they think that they'll be able to bait me in by giving me my big channel back, that I would actually get the digital ID just to post, which I will not. Okay, I will not do that. So once the digital ID is in place and you can only post online with the digital ID, I will be gone. I will not do it unless, of course, I just pay somebody to use their digital ID, like a guy in the street somewhere, to log in. But he'll probably end up in jail because, of course, we know anything that's said online that questions Big Brother will eventually have you thrown in prison. So I'm rambling here. I don't know if I should be happy. I don't know if I should be, I guess what I'm feeling most is confused, and I'm certainly just going, what's the catch? What's the catch? So my wheels are churning as I'm doing this, just thinking to myself, there's a catch here, there's a catch, there's a catch. There's definitely a catch. So I'm rambling at this point. Obviously, it's nice, for some of you, I'm sure most of you have obviously long forgotten about my channel, and you probably see this in the thing, you're like, oh, that guy, whoa, what happened to him? Well, I've still been doing it. Obviously, there's a lot of people who still have been following and catching up, and I appreciate all of you who have done that over the years. And again, if any of the other channels get reinstated, I don't know what to tell you because I can't log into them. Like I said, each one is attached to a burner phone, so every time I try to even go into the email, I can't get in. I'm blocked out of all the emails for all the accounts because each one they want you to put in the code that we text to your phone, and they're all burners, they're all gone, so I have no way of getting it. So obviously this one is the most important one. It's the biggest one. I mean, they're all important, but I think what I'll do is I'll wipe out a lot of the content on here. Maybe I'll start to rebuild it out. For those of you that don't know, a lot of my old content's obviously Illuminati and the signs and symbols. I still do the same stuff. Obviously, covering these psyops and false flags is something that I still do and will do on the website and here probably, but I'm going to tread lightly with what I post on here because I'm not going to let them set me up with some type of Alex Jones scenario where they try to, oh, this guy said this, the parents of this shooting are going to sue this guy. Then I got to come out of the woodwork. Oh, here he is. There's a call for an uprising. Oh, and I got to go to, I'm not going to let them set me up. I'm not going to let them embarrass me. I'm not going to let them dox me. I'm not going to do any of it. What I'll do is I'll put content up, warning people like I've been doing about the digital ID, about what's coming with brain-computer interfaces, which everybody out there should know, the technocracy stuff with Elon Musk. I've got, I'm making, I think, my best content the last couple of years, specifically with a lot of the stuff going on and breaking down why they're doing this, why they're heading this direction, the stuff with the states having different laws and different rules, the blue and red states, what you're seeing right now with Donald Trump, firing, Democrats, and of course, everything they're doing here with the government shutdown is for AI governance. Removing more people from government, replacing it with machine, all done by design. Trump, of course, is one of them. He is, as Marina Abramovich said, what did she say? What was the quote? The greatest magician, something along those lines. Yeah, pretty clear because we see the psychosis of MAGA. And of course, when Trump's fake assassination occurred, I didn't have this channel. I mean, I broke that down in lots of different ways. That's one of the fakest events we'll ever see in our lives. And we've seen the psychosis since then because the MAGA obsession in 2016 is nowhere near what it is now. And it all triggered from what they did deliberately with Biden, making him look like a fool, falling upstairs, falling off bikes, can't complete sentences, gaslighting people every day, working people into hysterics, having trans in the White House front lawn. All this stuff was done deliberately to rile up the two sides versus one another, the seesaw. Now they got the right in power, so the right's getting all their cancel culture on the left. This is all done by design. It's very, very easy to see. So Trump is obviously the grand architect of all of this, and there's so many more things that we're going to see in the future, but right now you're seeing them obviously bringing in AI governance with the data center. So those are the things I have been breaking down. We'll continue to break down for anyone out there that doesn't know, what's going on. Because again, the only thing that people who used to listen to my channel and all the channels like mine have been able to watch are these alt-right guys. So they keep you in the left-right, and they keep you talking about these simulated news stories. Oh, can men play women's sports? Can men have babies? They're debating this stuff, and it shouldn't even be open for debate. It's a distraction, a waste of your time to get you to not think about what the government's really doing. Look at these data centers. Nobody's going, what's the purpose of the data center? Oh, what's the purpose of the data center? Well, the data center's you, okay? The data centers, everything you've ever written on the internet is in these data centers, and every email and everything else, and every camera, every piece of footage is going to be saved in these data centers. Okay, we are in a surveillance state. Trump is bringing it in, and nobody's paying attention to it because all they need is little left-right stories, little Charlie Kirk, who's behind it, right? Nobody even asking the question of could they fake his death? Couldn't be easier to do. Guy got carried out into a black van. And that's all you ever heard? Oh, where'd he go? Oh, yeah. What hospital was he at? Can we see photos of the hospital? Do we have any evidence using him in the hospital? Of course we don't. Because we don't get evidence of any of this stuff. They just tell us this is what happened. And then everybody thinks that it's real because they're in a psychosis. Oh, that's what happened. No, let's debate it. Let's look at the footage that they give us. Oh, there's a man behind here. There's a man over there. Oh, yeah. There's a trap door here. There's a trap door there. Nobody questioned the fact that this guy clearly was a Mossad agent, clearly is back over in Tel Aviv with a new role, probably a new face. There's places on the map that you'll never find or know exist, okay? We've all heard of witness protection, yeah? Well, their witness protection is, 1,000 times more secure than actual witness protection for, a mobster, somebody like that. These people get new identities. If you think his marriage to Erica Kirk was real, are you joking me? All one has to do is look at the weeping over the mannequin in the casket or the behavior of Erica Kirk to say, yeah, you know what? This isn't the way a grieving widow would act. Right. Because it's a setup. It's an arranged marriage. I made this point at the time to get people to go, oh, right, good point. All these conservatives are like, how could you say it's an arranged marriage? Because they're in a psychosis. They see all this crap on social media, right? So they see it on social media. They think it's real. Even though it's like, couldn't you see how fake this is, these staged pictures? Because everybody acts the same way from social engineering. All these people take these fake cookie cutter pictures of themselves and their girlfriends pumpkin picking, Christmas wearing ugly sweaters. It's all manufactured behavior. So they think what they're seeing, oh, that's the same kind of stuff I do. I'm going to the Grand Canyon. Charlie Kirk's taking a picture with his wife. All these cookie cutter pictures, right? You never see the kids' faces for the most part, right? And they go, what? You're going to say that they're not his real kids, that they're making up kids or hiring kids? That's ridiculous. Over the top. Oh, okay, is it? Because conservatives believe that Michelle Obama has a penis. You could ask 99%, they're like, yep, Michelle Obama's a man. At this point, everybody's convinced Michelle Obama's a man, right? We had all the stuff with Joan Rivers. They're all convinced. They always talk about it. All the right media guys are like, she's got a penis. Okay, well, if Michelle's a penis, then whose kids are Barack Obama and Michelle running around with? Oh, they're actors. Okay, they're not really their kids. Okay, so why can't Charlie Kirk have a fake wife and fake kids? The whole thing is fake. Nobody gets this stuff. Look at the behavior and how these people act. They're worse than crisis actors. But they're like, they can't fathom it because they're in a psychosis, believing the news is real. The news is how they engineer your behavior, by manufacturing it, by making these stories up. You don't think that they could do a fake. They're like, what about the people who were there when Charlie Kirk got shot? Well, you think it's hard for them? I mean, you ever seen Punk'd before? Right? Pranks occurring in real time in front of real people, thought out, planned out, operated out, okay. And then everybody around him is like, oh my gosh, this guy really just threw up on somebody in the restaurant and a celebrity got slapped in the face. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and then they're like, you got punked. Oh, you don't think they could do that? Have a bunch of real people there, but have a staged operation from your intel agencies who are, masters of manipulation and mind control and deception, and have everybody there think that somebody got shot? I mean, it's like being on a movie set. Action. Okay, well, we're on the movie set. Somebody gets shot, like I showed you with the blood squib. The blood shoots out of the guy, and they're filming the movie, and everybody in the movie knows it's fake, but they're all acting, right? Oh, okay. Well, just imagine that they did that right in front of you, and you were walking down the streets, and Steven Spielberg was filming something, right? And they're all hiding, and you're walking, and someone gets shot. Well, you would be like, oh my gosh, somebody got shot, right? If Steven Spielberg came out, and he's like, I gotcha, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that looks so real. Well, exactly. You don't think that they can stage that in front of you, put a blood squib in his shirt. Everyone's like, oh, now there's an explanation for the shirt. First, it was he had a, what do you call it? Bulletproof vest on, huh? You can see his nipples. Oh, okay, so that was debunked. Oh, well, then it went through the back of his neck, right? Because we saw the guy take the camera down. Oh, it was a guy with a palm gun on the side. Where's the narrative that he was literally, a squirt came out of his neck, okay, which could easily be done by a C-level movie producer, let alone, the CIA, who could do this really well. And then he went to the ground, was carried out, thrown in a black car. There was no EMTs. There was no ambulances. Bada bing, bada boom. The first person to report his death is the President of the United States. Huh? President Trump announces the death of Charlie. What? Did he get a phone call immediately from everyone at the hospital before his wife or anyone else? President Trump is making the announcements to rile people up more, bring them into the psychosis more. And then immediately you start talking about, oh, the left are terrorists, they're extremists, right? And the right forgets how they were called terrorists and extremists. And then they're like, oh, no, we remember. Now we're going to call them it because we're like children. And instead of calling out the government for staging these operations, everybody fights among each other, which is, again, order out of chaos, divide and conquer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to do a little rant in case anybody forgot who I am around here. Obviously, there's still lots of channels that are still out there, lots that have forgotten about my voice or the existence of me, but I'm still here, I'm still standing, and let's keep an eye on what this is about, because I'm sure everybody out there is suspicious. I'm just as suspicious. The channel's back, it's not monetized, I don't expect much from it. We'll see how many views the videos get, because they're probably just saying these are all dead-end channels anyway. Who's going to come back and watch them after being gone for 3 years? But we'll see what happens. But the entire thing, again, is very, very suspicious. I thank everybody who's still here, and I thank you if you listened to the end. That's incredible. I doubt any of you actually did, but I, of course, appreciate all of you. Always have, always will. God bless all of you as well and your families.